going in and out. Shine my light. You see a piece of wood, and it looks like that the wood gets slid down there, and the kids are crawling up. If you look down in there when they let them out, yeah. But there's different toys down there, little food bags. You want to see pretty? And then that board's used to slide them up. The only way, because they're not going to reach down in there and grab them, so I guess they're having them slide up. But this is all the way down there. A child's not going to be able to get out of here, a small child. And you're not going to hear them scream. They're enclosed. You're not going to see them from the sky. So we're down here. We're off of the I-19 frontage road, Valencia I-19 exit. We're at an old cement plant. This is abandoned property. We're underground in a bunker that was built. There's a little prison cell right over there behind you where the children are being held down in there. There's a swing and everything out there. And we believe that this place is going to be used again. I'm just going. If they don't know that we found it, then they're only using the spot. It's not an everyday thing. This is just a drop point. And I guarantee you there's probably more of these. They repeat these ideas, same as they do their tunnels. So now we have a starting point. We actually know what to look for, and they're creatures of habit, so we know where their target areas are. This is easily accessible off I-19 corridor. So all the human trafficking is going up through Tucson. This is a spot where you're going to be able to hide children.
The CEMEX site in Tucson, Arizona has been bulldozed. Doesn't even look like they took anything out. They just bulldozed it.
You can smell. Alright. Take me through where the other parts are too. So for those of you who don't, there's a skull here. No, I don't want no one else to touch it. He kicked it out from under there to see what kind of bone it was. So, alright. We were waiting for the sheriff's department to come out here. Where's the near spot where the other bones are? You guys know that they're going to mark?
Tonight, veterans on patrol allegedly discover the remains of a child, and former intelligence aide and New York Times reporter James Wolfe arrested and raided by the FBI for alleged leaks of classified information. Hi, I'm Craig, and welcome to Just Informed Talk. For those of you who don't know, every one of these episodes I start off by saying thank you to each and every one of my subscribers. Without you guys, this channel could not function, so thank you. If you have not hit that subscribe button already, please come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way, as soon as these videos get posted, you'll be notified, because as soon as information is made available to me, I make it available to you. Now, what you guys just saw something that was pretty gripping, and what that was, it was a compilation and an update to what's going on in Arizona with this Veterans on Patrol, Team Alpha, Team Pulaski. These guys are a bunch of veterans who have gone out there with Craig Sawyer and others from Vets for Child Rescue, and they're actually out there investigating and uncovering these incredible stories. Now, for those of you who want to catch up on those stories, just go watch my last few videos. These three in particular, this one right here, Dark to Light, and these two right here are going to catch you up basically on what's going on in Arizona if you want to get brought to speed on that. But this is what we're going to talk about that is new and breaking information and updates from that, which is important. First of all, as we noted before, this site is one of many that they were discovering along the I-19 corridor that goes through Tucson, Arizona, in southern Arizona. And what they pointed out was that there's a lot of human trafficking going on in these areas. And it's fairly obvious from the videos and the evidence that they're trying to bring to bear here that there is not just one of these camps, there are many. And in this footage that you saw just before when you were entering into this video, that footage I even blurred out and kind of edited it down, because the honest truth is I don't think anybody here needs to see the skull of a child and I think that we can all understand that them finding it is pretty incredible in and of itself. And if you're one of those people who needs to see it and you need to see the proof, you can find it on their Facebook page. You can watch their live stream video. It's quite graphic, I will warn you, and I would just give you that heads up. But I didn't want to expose you guys to that because I just want to bring this story to you. That what they're uncovering here, what seems to be a network of places to traffic children through up along this I-19 corridor. And what basically happened was they were out basically doing a normal patrol, and they found the remains of what would appear to be a child. Now, they called the sheriff's office, and this is where it all kind of started. And this was off of I-19 here at a old abandoned strip mine that was on a 30-year land lease to a Mexican company that was leasing it from a larger corporation called Cemex, which is a Mexican cement company, which is probably one of the largest cement companies in the world. And a lot of interesting things have come out ever since this story is broken. There's been mysterious deaths, which you can go, like I said, if you want to go back here and watch, you can get filled in because I'm not going to recover all that. But there's been mysterious deaths. There's been all types of strange happenings, and these guys have been being confronted by different characters out there who they think could be involved even further. And what's important to understand is that this is a real story. Here we are on Gateway Pundit. They've even picked it up and done a pretty good job at putting this together. And I'm not going to scroll through the whole story, but there is pictures of the skull, which is disturbing to anyone. I would hope that would be disturbing. But it says U.S. veterans find child's body, skull, bones scattered near alleged Arizona child trafficking camp. So they've been doing this research. They went out and found it. And, there's a lot of people out there who are really supporting these guys. And I say, if they're really doing what they say they're doing, what they're showing us that they're doing, then God bless them. They need all the help they can get. And they've actually put a call to action out to bring people in. They wanted people at first to come to this camp, but you can pretty much just find them on Facebook at it's just search VOP team or VOP Alpha Team Pulaski or any of those terms will probably bring you right to their page where they're getting a huge amount of traffic and views on these videos, which they're doing these long live streams that are just incredible to watch because they're breaking down what's going on in real time. And I just gave you a little snippet of just a snapshot of what that was in the beginning of this video in the montage that I put together for you guys. If you guys want to see those full videos, I encourage you to go over there and check out their content. But this is what is all a part of this big boom week, and everybody wants to know, yes, of course, we all are expecting June 11th to be the date at which we're going to learn more. So it's only a few more days now, guys, where Q may be coming back to give us a little bit more information. But for now, as we will do no matter what, we're going to continue to cover the information that we have that is being presented to us. Now, a lot of people pointed out some really interesting stuff when they were talking about what was going on here. And one thing that was interesting is that when you look at this map and you look at this property that was that is owned by Cemex, and then there was connections to George Soros as a owner of Cemex in the tune of, not an owner, but he is a shareholder to the tune of $41 million. And then there's other connections to the Rothschilds through the actual company itself. And not to mention their connection to the Clinton Foundation in Haiti. And they're basically were one of the primary people to come in and build the spec houses for redeveloping Haiti, which never really followed through on. And it was a part of the Clinton initiative where nothing ever was done except billions of dollars were taken in exchange for basically nothing, in my opinion. Now, what was interesting, though, is an ANON pointed out that Cemex actually just put out a statement on this. Now, whether or not they knew this was coming is one thing, but it's interesting to note that they have put out like a kind of response. And according to the ANONs here, it was from May, and according to their own documentation here, it's from the president of Cemex in the United Kingdom from May 2018. And the document basically reads this. Slavery and human trafficking statement pursuant to the Modern Slavery Act 2015. Slavery and human trafficking are abhorrent crimes, and we all have a responsibility to ensure they don't or do not continue. At Cemex, we are proud of the steps we have taken as a company to combat this practice and pride ourselves on conducting our business ethically and responsibly. The following shows our commitment to ensure that modern slavery is not taking place in our business or any of our supply chains. Okay, maybe they're talking about like people who are working in India making bricks. I know there's a lot of indentured servitude over there. It's still to this day, which is really sad, where people, basically they're forced to work to pay off debts that are, artificially inflated based on the fact that they don't have anywhere else to go. But interesting that this came out in May 2018, which is last month. That's an interesting thing to me. And then it says their business and organizational structure here. It says, we are building materials company that manufactures ready-mix concrete cement aggregates, and we also supply and install asphalt materials, manufacture concrete block paving. So this is basically laying out that what they do is they bury things. I mean, to me, if there were some kind of crazy ring of really evil stuff going on, no, I'm not saying Cemex is involved in something like that, but I'm just saying it would be incredibly convenient to have a cement factory where you could probably bury things in cement that nobody would ever maybe find. Although it doesn't seem like that was the case if you watch the video at the beginning of this video. So, yeah. I thought that was an interesting thing that a lot of the Anons were pointing out. Another interesting thing is that all the way back, it would seem, in March of 2017, which is crazy. I don't know if this is verified or not, because it's just a screenshot and it's been going viral kind of through the Q boards. But this is from last year, March of 2017. Where an ANON actually posts this statement here, saying the biggest happening will be hashtag Tucson Gate when Jay Rothschild, Tucson mayor, is outed for trafficking kids with the help of Casa de los Niños and the Clinton Foundation. This is the lead and the pedogate happening of 2017. You're welcome. And then they say praise the thing you guys probably wouldn't understand. It's Kekistan and Pepe, and it's all part of the boards they talk about here. But the Kek is like a thing they say. Anyway, Tucson Gate from 2017 in March. Wow. You guys let me know what you think in the comments on that one. I don't have anything to really add to that other than you can see it here in this archived board, and kind of at a loss for words. For those of you who don't know, the mayor of Tucson, I believe, is Jay Rothschild, who's actually related to the Rothschilds. And he's the mayor, and they're making the implication here, which there's no evidence to back up yet, and I haven't had enough time to do research on this Casa de los Niños, but that somehow he has been using this organization to traffic children, and somehow it's connected to the Clinton Foundation, and somehow this person back in 2017 in March was able to predict that what's going on today, where we look at this incredible story, just like you guys saw at the beginning of this video, and into all this stuff that's coming out as we've been working on covering the Veterans on Patrol Alpha Company here. Wow. Wouldn't that be, that's pretty incredible foresight for somebody, or they just got really lucky, or it's just a coincidence. But as Q says, there really are no coincidences, are there? And before we get to wrapping all this up, there's actually a bigger story I want to cover, so I hope you guys stick around for a few more minutes and listen to this. But we have this breaking story off of a New York Times reporter who has been, and former Senate intelligence aide, has been arrested and raided by the FBI, where his phones have been taken, all of his documents have been taken, with basically allegations of connections to classified information leaking. So before we cover that, let's look at this really quick though. Smallville actress and accused sex trafficker Allison Mack said branding women was her idea. And this just goes to show you the kind of evil that's out there. I mean, guys, this woman was on a major television show as an actor and is involved in this Nexium cult, which seems to have infiltrated all of the highest echelons of society. And she's up here, she's portraying this sweet small town girl on TV. Not that I ever even watched this show, but she's doing that, and then simultaneously she's branding women and having sex slaves. And it's connected to sex trafficking. That's the important thing. What's happening in Arizona and what's happening in Hollywood, it's all interconnected, guys. This is not just one. They're not just isolated cases. They're actually incredibly connected. And what I wanted to point out too was we have Secretary Pompeo, the Secretary of State, who is pointing out to us in this tweet, saying at POTUS, President of the United States, is going into the Singapore summit with his eyes wide open. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's a movie a while ago by Stanley Kubrick called Eyes Wide Shut, which basically it seemed to unveil the secret societies and ritualistic occultism behind the sex club cult, occultist, behind the scenes goings on of Hollywood, where you probably had a lot of these secret societies, or have a lot of these secret societies working together to basically use. What I've said before is this: if you take it as an analogy, it's more like this. If you went to join a gang and then the gang member said, "Go commit a crime," that way you will gain our favor and we will know you're one of us, right? That's the same principle behind what they do with people and just like from this Nexium cult all the way down to the sex traffickers, you bring people in, you blackmail them by saying, or you basically, if they're evil, then they're participating willingly, and they participate in the crimes, and then you have that on each other, and it's the way of like this camaraderie, this sick, twisted camaraderie that keeps them all together. But anyway, the Eyes Wide Shut movie exposed the I don't want to say Illuminati as much as I want to say the globalist, elitist, sex, it didn't go into pedophilia, but it was probably one of the things that Kubrick couldn't cross that line. But the Satanism, the Luciferianism, the occultism that goes on behind the scenes, where the spirit cooking, all that stuff, he was basically exposing it. And I thought that was kind of a weird play on words, or an interesting play on words when you consider what Mike Pompeo, Secretary Pompeo, is saying when he's saying eyes wide open. And then he's basically echoing here a tweet from yesterday or today, depending on what time zone you're in, I guess. But he's echoing what Q said from May 14th, okay, from last month, where Q says, it's talking about Allison Mack, saying, Allison Mack, Nexium arrested date. When does a bird sing? Schneiderman resigns date. Coincidence. Eyes wide open. Who will be next? Watch NYC. Watch California, or CA. Q. Now, when this post was posted, I actually remember doing a video on it, and I was talking about how I was talking a lot about how these are connected, the Schneiderman, Allison Mack nexus. But then what occurred to me even more now as I look back at this and connect it to here, because this is what, future proofs past with Q, is there a connection between North Korea and what was going on with this? Because, I mean, look, if you guys haven't been following this for a while, I encourage you to go back and watch videos from the past in the channel here. You'll kind of get caught up. But what was being suggested basically is that this whole North Korea thing, to lay it out in a nutshell so you guys can kind of get a quick gist of what I'm going to be referencing here. The whole North Korea deal was there was a shadow type government influence, deep state influence from the CIA that had really basically been using North Korea as this wild card type existential threat that they could use and control to make sure that nothing bad would actually happen, but then use it to scare other countries and the United States and its citizens into allowing basically the military industrial complex to have a blank check to continue increasing defense spending until infinity, right? Which is principally unethical and immoral, in my opinion. And I think people would gladly support the military without having to be threatened by some rogue actor like North Korea. But then also, it's a puppet state. It's a buffer state between China and the United States. And there's a lot more to North Korea than just what I just laid out. But you guys understand what I'm saying when I'm making the implication that basically the CIA has been infiltrated into that North Korean dictatorship, and somehow we've been in some kind of negotiation to get things. And what things will we be buying from the most evil dictatorship in the world? Well, or helping to trade in. I would suggest that it is my opinion. There's no verifiable evidence for this yet, but that it could possibly be some sort of connection to human trafficking, child trafficking. So, guys, please try to connect those dots. Let me know what you think down in the comments, because that's basically what I'm spitballing here with you guys. It's pretty much where I've gone with this. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is this New York Times reporter. And here we're going to first listen to President Trump's tweets, where he's tweeting out Alan Dershowitz, and he's saying, quote, "It all proves that we never needed a special counsel. All of this could have been done by the Justice Department. Don't need a multi-million-dollar group of people with a target on someone's back. Not the way justice should operate." So true. Yeah, I mean, that's 100% true. President Trump's saying we never needed a special counsel, and all of this could have been done by the Justice Department. But now we've wasted millions and millions of dollars on this investigation, and people are having their targets. They're being targeted basically for being involved with this at this point. So it's become quite inconvenient, I would say, at the least. Now, here's another one. He keeps referencing the 13 Angry Democrats. He's saying, when and where will all of the many conflicts of interest be listed by the 13 Angry Democrats, plus working with the witch hunt hoax? There has never been a group of people on a case so biased or conflicted. It is all a Democratic excuse for losing the election. Where is the server? Now, Trump is basically pointing out something very important here. Where is the server? Where is the server that Hillary Clinton had off of any kind of secure location in some kind of coffee shop, it would seem, in a basement, where there were 33,000 emails that were basically acting as a dead drop that was put together with her and Uma Abedin in order to basically give access to the highest donors to the Clinton Foundation, so they could come and they could say, oh, well, go here, and it's got basically limited encryption, and you'll be able to pull whatever special access program, classified information that you want off of this server, because it's, that's the allegation. All right, that's literally it. And that's what Trump's saying here, that the Democrats, it's all an excuse for losing, because they never thought they were going to lose, because they never thought the server was going to get out there. All the emails and all the corruption, the stuff going on behind the scenes, it was basically tantamount to the highest kinds of corruption you could ever imagine, plus crimes that you could even draw out, like treason and implications, circumstantial evidence that would point you to some kind of weird child trafficking code language. This is all connected also back to the special access programs. When you look at Anthony Weiner's laptop with Uma Abedin, and the insurance file that they don't know, that the NYPD found various files on that are just disturbing, I've heard, and that, it's very possible could contain some of the most incriminating evidence you ever could imagine. Not to say that the evidence that we haven't been getting on a regular basis is not incriminating enough, right? And there was another one where I thought it was very important, where he says, our Justice Department must not let Awan and Debbie Wasserman Schultz off the hook. The Democrat IT scandal is a key to much of the corruption we see today. They want to make a plea deal to hide what is on their server. Where is the server? Really bad. Okay, guys, remember, let's just take a thing. The Awan brothers, Imran Awan and the brothers who are running the servers for the DNC with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and then those servers, because there are other servers. There's a server that Hillary had the emails on that was off-site with the special access programs, and there's the DNC servers that they hired a private organization to come in and do an investigation on that basically said nothing happened and that it had to be Russian hackers. When we all know that the majority of the evidence to this point would point us in the direction to believe that Seth Rich had actually removed those emails through a jump drive off of his laptop from his personal email account and then gave them to Julian Assange through Kim.com. If you guys don't believe me, look all this stuff up. There's enough evidence to prove that that was exactly what happened, but nobody's basically put it together yet, especially not in the mainstream media, because they just don't want you connecting these dots. But I've seen enough to basically point me in the direction to say it's very plausible. It's not concrete yet, but that's because nobody's doing a real investigation into it, because everybody just dismisses it as being impossible. When I say, it's quite very, very possible that what President Trump is referring to here is that the Awans had access to all these different servers. They worked, there's connections to the Muslim Brotherhood, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who's running a racket that they say is allegedly connected to MS-13 and what happened to Seth Rich. And guys, there is so much here, okay? This is really bad. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it is really bad, as the president says. So you guys trust me when I say it's really bad. And when I say it's really bad, it gets even worse. We have an ex-Senate aide charged in the leak case where Times reporters' records were seized. Now it's saying here that federal law enforcement officials secretly seized years' worth of a New York Times reporter's phone and email records this year in an investigation of classified information leaks. So we said we're going to go after leakers, and we said we're going to try to clean up the swamp, drain the swamp. But in order to drain the swamp, you also have to go out and you have to clear out the outskirts as well. You got to cut some new paths, and you have to, clear the shrubbery, however you want to call it, clear the debris in order to make something that's really prosperous. Because this is a part of it. This is a part of the Mockingbird media. This is a part of their propaganda network that they have going from the deep state out to the mainstream media outlets. And this is what they do. And it's good to know that the FBI has actually gone and investigated these individuals. You guys can read through this article for yourself if you want to get more information on what they're alleging. But it's basically just saying that there was information that was being put out through this person onto the major social or the mainstream media outlets like the New York Times that was classified, and it should not have been out there. And this guy was getting it somehow in the investigation, and the focus and scope of it seems to be on where was he getting it, and why was he deciding to continue to spread it, and was he interlacing it with disinformation in order to basically suit his agenda. All of these things are definitely offenses, especially if they're meant to undermine the ability of law enforcement to conduct their jobs, or undermine the ability of the President of the United States to conduct his job. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments as well on this one, because this to me is just unacceptable, but I'm glad to see that there's some action being taken. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this episode. I want to say thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Let me know what you think about everything. We covered some pretty crazy stuff here. Let me know what you think about what's going on in Arizona. Let me know what you think about the Allison Mack Nexium stuff. And also let me know what you think about this New York Times reporter. If you guys have any insights on that, I'd love to hear it. But that's going to be it for this show. If you're looking for a way to contribute to the channel, let me tell you, the easiest way for you to do it, it's free to you, it really costs you nothing, and it takes 1 second, and it's like throwing me a buck, and I really appreciate it, is if you have not hit that subscribe button already, please come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified as soon as these videos get posted. That's the easiest way. The next best way is to scroll down at the end of this video, and you can either start watching some of the later videos, or my favorite thing for you guys to do is, if you want to contribute, is to leave your comments, thoughts, theories, insights down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of everything that we covered here today, because like I say, we try to have our own QAnon research board at the end of each one of these videos, where you guys get together and there's just an incredible amount of conversation and dialogue about today's news events and the things that are being uncovered, and all of this information that we're trying to process on a daily basis. So even if you can't contribute, scroll down at the end of the video, read through the comments. You're going to learn something, I promise, that you didn't know before you started this video. Now, another way is to come over here and check me out on Twitter, at Justin_Form. You know, they've been kind of messing with me. That video that you guys saw at the beginning of this video that I'm making, that you're listening to, I haven't been able to post here on Twitter, and I would like to, but it seems that like every time I went to post it, very weird things happen, especially when you throw a few hashtags on it. It automatically just gets dropped. My page blanks out, and it won't upload the video. So I thought that was very interesting as I went through that. But again, if you're looking for a way to contribute and you want to contribute financially, I really appreciate that. That makes a huge difference, because trust me, guys, I've been going through the ringer here on the other end. This is a monthly donation you guys can come make here on Patreon. That's patreon.com. You come here to Justin Form Talk. You'll find this page once you search for it, and you hit this button, become a patron, get involved with all of these different reward levels. You can even get a chance to get some equipment here. For everybody who's waiting for your hats, they're a little back ordered right now, so I'm getting those, and they'll be on the way soon. I apologize for the delay in that, but you can definitely come sign up here and help support the channel, because trust me, guys, the demonetization bug seems to happen occasionally, and it's intermittent, and I don't understand how to fight it other than to have this going here on Patreon, where you guys can help me basically stay in business, so I can keep making this information for you, posting these posts for you guys, doing the research, doing all the work that I do every day, day in, day out for you guys, so that you guys can be informed and know what's going on in the world, and so that you guys can know about what we're going to talk about next, which is the most important thing that all of these videos cover, which is the grace of God. And in talking about the grace of God, I want to bring up an incredible piece of scripture that I found that talks about what happens when we get persecuted and we get put down and we get basically tried by our enemies, who don't want to see us succeed or see us spread the word of God, because maybe they're either afraid of the word of God, or they're opposed to the word of God, or they just haven't had the real moment where God's come into their heart and shown them the kindness and glory that he can bring. But let's read through it, because it's the finishing part of the scripture verse that you guys saw at the end of the video earlier in this video, or at the end of the clip earlier in this video. And it says here, and this is, by the way, it's Matthew chapter 5, verse 11. Blessed are you when they insult you and persecute you and falsely say every kind of evil against you because of me. Be glad and rejoice, because your reward is great in heaven. For that is how they persecuted the prophets who were before you. And it's short, but it's powerful, and it's true. And when we speak the truth, we may be persecuted. When we shine light onto the darkness, we may be targeted ourselves. When we choose to live our life in a way that forces us to address evil that is all around us, regardless of where we come from on a social level or an economic level or a spiritual level. When we don't see that commonly as a threat and commonly as evil, then as a society, you can have big problems. But as Christians, we are fighting to keep those problems from arising. We're trying to keep people's hearts hopeful. We're trying to keep people's minds focused on seeking God's wisdom and God's grace and God's courage and God's strength, and praying and sharing and fellowship and volunteering in your community and giving back to those who need help, and pushing ourselves to contribute in every way that we can to glorify God and to spread goodwill unto men. Because we can either be a part of the problem or a part of the solution at this point. You have so many things going on right now in the world. And the things we cover here are very important, but as much as it is our duty to know about these things and to share this information so that we can be aware, so that we can protect others from the dangers that could be coming as in the pitfalls of the viper dens that are these evil things that exist in the world, we have to do what we can at home as well. Go to church and volunteer. Find some volunteer work there. Go to your soup kitchen. Go to your go to your local city hall and inquire about volunteer opportunities. Pick up trash. Look, God is not gonna just pop up one day and basically give you every answer that you ever wanted maybe when we die, we're rejoined with God in heaven. But I don't think unless maybe you're a prophet or who, I don't know. But for most people, it's going to come in these very powerful moments in our lives, and it can come all at once as a flood of good, feelings and good emotions, and basically the Spirit of God can fill you up and give you this power and this courage and this strength. But for the most part, we're going to have to work for it, and we're going to have to show God that we're willing to work for it, which is putting in that extra hour, putting in those extra efforts for the others who cannot take care of themselves. And it's important to live by these principles, but to mainly to use them as what we want to show others so that they'll do it, so that they'll enact those in themselves, and then they'll spread that out like it's a chain reaction. You do good for others, and then others that you've done good for, you hope that they'll go out and do good for others, and then it'll create this multiplying effect that will make the world a much better place than it was before you put in that initial input, that effort to change something and to make a difference. So I encourage all of you to go out and try to make a difference, even if it's at home, just with your family, and being nicer or being more inclusive in what you do, and bringing more people in, or going out and working in your yard and making a nice garden that your family can enjoy, or whatever it is. I encourage you all to go do that, and do it with pride and do it with God in your heart, and pray. Even when you're happy, sad, or indifferent, pray, because God is going to be there for you always, and you need to bring God in your heart. So that's going to basically wrap it up for this video. I want to say thank you all for watching. Again, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, now's a great time to do it. Come here to this landing page, click the big red subscribe button, make sure you hit the bell for notifications. That way you'll be notified when these videos get posted. But can't wait to read through the comments and see what you guys have to say. That's going to be it for this episode. I want to say thank you for watching. Again, my name is Craig. This is Just Informed Talk. Godspeed and God bless each and every one of you, Patriots.